Welcome to Downrange Effect. I'm Major J, sponsored by Miss D's Salty Nuts. If you're going to put anybody's salty nuts in your mouth, make them Miss D's. Today we're going to talk about the Savs 10mm. And I just so happen to have another one here. This one's a Gen 3 versus your Gen 1, and it has a RMR red dot sight on it versus your iron sights. Just some differences. But we're going to disassemble and reassemble it, and then I'm going to name some of the parts that you have that are maybe a little, they're custom parts versus the OEM parts that you would normally get with a Glock. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and clear it before we disassemble it. So I'm going to press the magazine release button here, and I'm going to drop the magazine, and then I'm going to lock the slide to the rear, and I'm going to check to make sure that there are no rounds inside the chamber. Okay, really important. I'm actually going to stick my finger in there, okay? Because next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dry fire it, let the slide go forward, and I'm going to dry fire the gun. And then I'm going to use this grip here with using my strong hand thumb and the rest of my hand on the top of the slide. I'm going to pull the slide slightly back, and then I'm going to press down on this lever here and the one that's on the other side, which is the barrel stops, to release the slide to let it go forward. Okay, so I'm going to pull it back slightly. Let's see, like about like that, and then I'm going to pull these two levers down, and then I'm going to let the slide go forward. Okay, so then we've got the lower, and then we have upper, and I'm going to take off the recoil spring. The Glock 29s and 30s have a dual recoil spring, and then I'm going to take the KKM barrel out. And that's essentially the field stripping, okay? So let me go through some of the stuff that you've got, all right? We'll start with the barrel, okay? So you have a KKM barrel versus the Glock OEM barrel. So what's the difference? Well, the KKM barrel has hexagonal rifling versus the polygonal rifling that the Glock comes with. So what that allows you to do is you can shoot lead bullets through it. And we also talked about the fully supported chamber. So it's actually a safer barrel to have in the event that you fired a cartridge that was loaded improperly. It would, probably save your hand. Okay, so it's also a more accurate barrel. Okay, there's kind of a fallacy about short barrels, right? So the shorter the barrel, actually, the more accurate it is. It just doesn't produce as much velocity because it's stiffer. Okay, and then a little bit about pistol barrels. I only want you to shoot 10mm in your 10mm. Okay, because pistols and semi-automatic rifles have throats in their barrel. Shotguns and revolvers have forcing cones. When you have a throat, the cartridge head spaces on the neck or the end of the brass case. Some people will say that you can shoot 40 Smith & Wesson in that. Just don't do it, okay? Only shoot what a barrel says the cartridge that you can shoot in it, okay? So there we go. We got the KKM barrel, right? All right. So then we've got a Wolf recoil spring and guide rod. It's a two-piece deal, okay? So you got two pieces, you got two springs, right? Pretty easy to put together. This is a 23-pound, just like the one that you have in yours, because I shoot, heavy defensive loads. But I'm going to get you the 17-pound one so that you can shoot it, and I think your wife could be able to shoot it then also. Okay, yeah, I got a hold of Mr. Wolf on my last tour in Iraq, and he's out of Chicago. He's a Vietnam veteran. He runs this spring company, and I'll have to tell you the story about him. He's a pretty excellent dude. Okay, all right, and then let's talk a little bit about the lower here. Okay, So you have on your pistol, you have, just like on this one, you have a ZEV trigger, which is an aftermarket trigger on your Glock. It's an adjustable trigger, but the adjustment screws are locked with Loctite. So the only way they'll come undone is if you heat them. So it's set pretty good. You could adjust it by going in and looking at the ZEV product line and doing it, but I'd just keep it the way it is, okay? You also have in here, you have a what's called a connector, all right? You have a 3.5 pound connector versus a 5 pound connector that the Glock 29 comes with. So what that does is it allows a less of a trigger pull required to release the shot. So normally a Glock will come with like about a 5.5 pound trigger pull. Yours has got like a 3.5-ish, okay? Some of the parts in here that you can oil is you can put a drop of oil right here on when you reassemble it, and you can also oil the rails here, and here, and then going on, you have an extended slide lock lever, which is easier to use when you're trying to either release the slide or to lock it to the rear. Yours has that too. Okay, it's a Glock product that I bought that I like to use because I don't like the one that it comes with because it's very difficult to use. I think that you might have an extended magazine release on yours too, and it might have a cut on it that allows you to get your fingers higher on it. I can't remember. Let's see. I don't think you have anything on your slide that is aftermarket. That's pretty much it, Sav. So let me put it back together again for you. The same process, okay? So I'll put the barrel in. The muzzle end goes in first, then comes back, okay? And then I'm going to put the plunger end right here goes up against that part of the barrel. So I'm going to put the front of it in, and then I'm going to have to compress it up against the barrel. So I'm going to bring it so that it's kind of parallel like that, okay? Now with a ZEV trigger, you don't have to do this with a stock Glock trigger, but with a ZEV trigger, you've got to push forward this till you hear a click when you reassemble it, okay? So I'm essentially resetting the trigger, all right? So that's what you need to do with a ZEV trigger when you reassemble your pistol, okay? So then I'm just gonna line up the rails with the rails on the slide here. Okay, sliding it in. Okay, and I dry fire it, and it's ready to go. Okay, if you have any questions how to disassemble or assemble it, let me know. You can order, if you want to, you can actually order a manual that covers all the Glock pistols from Glock. But I'll do another video for you on the different cartridges, the pistol cartridges, the 10 millimeter specific, on the different weights of bullets, different designs of bullets, and different velocities that you can use. Training versus defense, okay? All right, that's all I got.